Hey everyone, my name is Meera. Welcome back to my channel. Around 2 months ago, my friend Sonali from the channel The Melodramatic Bookworm self-published her own short story collection on Amazon. It's called Nonet, and I was part of the whole Bookstagram tour and everything. It was so much fun. If you have been following me on Instagram or Goodreads, you might have already read my review of the book, but I really wanted to talk about it here on my channel as well. Nonet is a collection of 9 short stories, each of which has a premise that is quite different than the other. There's also a very interesting mix of genres in this collection. So you will read some romance, a little bit of suspense, a spooky story, and a whole lot of contemporary fiction. While it was really difficult to choose which one I enjoyed the most of all, I'm going to say my top 3 favorite stories in this collection are Zero, Dine and Dash, and Mystic. Zero, being the first story in the collection, knocks the ball out of the park and sets a really good precedent for the rest of the stories to follow. It was unpredictable, there was this air of suspense in it. When it started off, I had a completely different idea in my mind about what the story is going to be like, but by the end of it, the last passage that I read, I was just mind blown because I couldn't have predicted that is what Sonali was trying to convey through her story. That was mind blowing. Zero is definitely such a kick ass story. After that, Mystic is one which is about 2 children and a haunted house. It has this sense of nostalgia to it because it sort of reminded me about my own childhood. You know, it's an experience I'm pretty sure a lot of you can probably relate with. Like when we were kids, there would be this house at the end of the lane that everyone thought of as being haunted, and we'd dare each other to try and go up to the gate and things like that. So this short story I really liked because of the atmosphere that Sonali creates, and I feel like it was really short. I mean, I would have loved for the short story to have been a little longer just because the writing complemented the plot so well, and I was completely engaged by it. I am not someone who enjoys reading romance fiction a lot because they can be very cliched, but Dine and Dash was such a delight to read. It's fun, light-hearted, and there's this hint of mischief that sort of blankets the entire story. When you finish reading it, you're just so happy and it's just full of feels. Out of these 9 stories, I enjoyed reading most of them, but there was one that I didn't quite like, and that's because I felt so lost while reading it. It's called A Sojourn Somewhere. So basically, it reads in a very stream of consciousness manner. It's just a series of thoughts that are strung together, and the entire short story can sort of be understood in different parts, if you know what I mean. It's just that all of these thoughts put together, I couldn't understand what was going on or what direction the story would head in. But other than that, all the other 8, there's something that's refreshing about them because a quality in Sonali's writing is that you get to read a new perspective, a new angle to maybe identities or experiences that you normally wouldn't read in other books. So there's definitely this element of new and realistic depictions that runs as a common thread across these stories. Now, coming to the writing style, I have always been a fan of Sonali's style of writing. She writes in a very crisp and yet elegant manner. I'd say her writing falls somewhere between what a beginner and an intermediate reader would be comfortable with, and that's because her writing is not very simple. Without being too wordy, she sets the environment, she pays sufficient attention to the details that we need to know in order to form a complete picture of what's going on. Needless to say, I finished reading this entire collection in one sitting. I was so immersed in these stories. They're all quite different, yet when you go from one story to the other, there's this sense of fluidity, the sense of not interconnectedness, but the storytelling is just so real and just so captivating that you don't feel like setting the book down after finishing a couple of stories. While friendship and family bonds are a very important aspect of the themes throughout this collection, there are also some more intense and possibly triggering topics covered, such as rape, kidnapping, and loss of family. I wouldn't say that these have been explored in a very detailed or jarring manner, but maybe that's not for me to say. So you should know what's in it before you begin reading the collection. If you'd like to talk about this book with me, then you can DM me anywhere: Instagram, Goodreads, Facebook, and I would be happy to talk to you. Now, one of the things that I'm always on the lookout for when I'm reading short stories is that I need for plots to be very well executed in these stories, and that can be a very tricky thing because some plots require a lot more elaboration than the format allows for. But as I was reading story after story in this collection, I kept thinking, how are you going to neatly tie up this plot within the span of a few pages? But Sonali does it. Like, she does it very well. There wasn't a point of time other than the short story Mistake where I felt like I needed to know more, or I would have been fine knowing a little less about the story. So I feel like she has a very good grasp on the format and being able to convey the stories, the experiences that she wants to in these few pages. I rated Nonet 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm going to leave a link to the Amazon page in the description box in case you want to read it as well. I would love to know your thoughts about this book if you have read them, so leave that in the comments and let's continue this discussion there. If you've made it till here, then thank you so much for watching my videos. We are really close to 2500 subs and I plan to do a giveaway then. One other thing I wanted to talk about in this video is that recently I had posted a thread on Twitter talking about being an Indian booktuber and how we sort of need to build each other up, and I had shared a playlist of Indian booktubers. That thread got so much support and love on Twitter, and it makes me really happy. This is in no way trying to demean or undermine the efforts of non-Indian booktubers, but I think it's high time that we got the visibility that we deserve. So henceforth, in every video of mine, I am going to leave a link to an Indian booktuber's video that I really enjoyed watching, and they have so much to offer. So it's sort of going to be like a spotlight for Indian booktubers. Take a look at my description box from this video and henceforth, because I want you to discover these Indian content creators and follow their channel. Their channels are just all so vibrant, so different, their perspectives, their thoughts. I'm just really happy that this community is growing. So that's it for this video. I've been talking for quite a while and I miss doing this. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, supporting, for being here, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye!